they mess up. But then they come back and not necessarily do they apologize, but they might bring you a gift. They might take you to dinner. They might take you to dinner. They really try to make up for it.
But they never said I'm sorry.
Without saying I'm sorry.
And you can't make up for without saying I'm sorry. That's the point I'm making.
No, you can. The person is desiring so much. They need it
as, they must be sorry if they're doing all these things.
Right, exactly. And sometimes they'll send flowers, they'll just lavish you with things, and then you forget about it. And
I don't think I would ever forget about myself.
But you're asking about why would people do this, because it is a subtleness about it, and it's a smoothness. This person is good.
So how can we help coach people not to fall for that?
Well,
is that a personal thing? Is that, hey, Jim, that's just how they're built. That's just how I'm built. There's nothing else anybody can help them with?
How do we coach people not to fall for that? I mean, we do it by what we're doing right now, which is going through the signs of what toxic versus difficult look like.
Right.
And you mentioned something earlier, Dad, about things being, dating being hard out here. And you're like, does that make you settle? Does that make this? I think that it's less about people feeling like they have to settle. I think for some people, yes, it does make them settle. It does make them think this is the best I'm going to get, so I might as well deal with this person as they are. But I do think for other people, it's just exhausting. It's exhausting when you...
I've heard that before, because they'll say, I just don't want to start over.
Yeah.
I've been with this guy for a while, and I just don't want to start over.
The wrong road, it's never the wrong time to turn around.
Well, that's easier said than done in a relationship. It truly is in today's time.
Because things are so intertwined. But I'll give it to you, Dad. This goes back to we're looking at this the wrong way. And culturally, as a society, we are all looking at it the wrong way. It's being portrayed in the wrong way. Okay. Even the way that you hear people, the old ball and chain, like this and that, or whatever. So we are inundated with relationship advice or tips, etc., that are all wrong. So even though what you're saying is true, that doesn't mean that that's people's reality. And it doesn't mean that that's how people are acting.
All right. So,
and I have one last thing I'll say about this, because this is a lesson, and it seems so obvious to me, but this is a lesson that I've recently learned. People may want to get to where you all are talking about. Mm-hmm. They may have these new goals, new boundaries, new mindset, but it takes people time for their habits to catch up.
I agree. 100%. 100%.
So they're still making that same mistake until it clicks.
All right. So let's go back over or touch back on the warning signs.
Okay. So if we're going to summarize the differences between what is toxic and what is difficult, I would say that when something is difficult, it resolves itself. But if it's toxic, it's going to repeat itself. Mm-hmm. So you're going to see a pattern. Number two, if something is difficult, it's a misunderstanding. Maybe that wasn't their intention. It's not rooted in control. If something is toxic, there's an element of control. There's a desire for power there. And that intention, that as the root of the issue, is toxic. Mm-hmm. So that's number two. Mm-hmm. The third thing would be when there is conflict, it is resolved in a healthy way. Versus what's toxic, which is this silent treatment / silent punishment / ghosting. Mm-hmm. We'll keep that in there for people dating, because I do think that's toxic to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those are the three differences between what's difficult, what's toxic. Okay. And Mom, you also wanted to go over some warning signs to watch out for.
To watch out for difficult versus the toxic relationship. So going back, it's for this one, it's control disguised as protection. And so the difficult partner may worry about genuinely care about what's going on. So like you might say, when you get to, if I'm driving to back home or something, when you get there, check in with me, just honestly caring. Mm-hmm. The other person, the toxic person, might say, I'm just trying to protect you, but limits your freedom to go and do different things. You don't have the independence. They're uncomfortable with you doing this or that.
Yeah.